Welcome back, guys. I hope you are blessed by that. And we're here. We're looking at why are you capturing feelings, and we've been discussing all different sorts of things so far. Now I'm just going to ask, guys, rejection is a big kind of emotion and feeling that everybody, be it man or woman, deals with. You know, what are some of your experiences, and how do you deal with it in the right way?
I don't think there's a right way of dealing with it. Speaking from like past experience, like I was with my boyfriend, and I like growing up, I'd always suffered from a lot of insecurities about myself, and because of that, I don't really let people in too tough like that. So for me to let someone in was like a major, you know what I mean? And then for me to tell you like things about myself or things that I've done or like just really personal things was a major. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just like no, because I need you to understand that it was major. Like it was super major. So, and you know, there was one time when, you know, he was going at it and, you know, he kind of opened his mouth or whatever and just insulted the hell out of my life based on things that I told him.
Wow.
Okay. And, and, you know, at that point, you know, I could have, you know, if I was in the world and I didn't have Jesus, I could have easily caught a case and, you know, been involved in the pole. But because of my Jesus, it was just like at that moment I felt rejected because I felt betrayed and I felt rejected because it was just like I told you something and you went on like you accepted me but you didn't. Do you know what I mean? And then now that you have kind of leverage to be mad at me or to insult me, you then use that to attack me. So in a way it's just like wow, like you know, like when you get like punched in the belly, it literally was like whoa, like I must just not mean crap. Do you know what I mean? And that's not speaking on the person, lovely person, but at the same time that in that kind of situation I felt very, very rejected, and it kind of, you know, it went from that to then I then kind of almost transported it onto God in a sense where I was just like, okay, well if this person doesn't accept me, then you must just think I'm nasty as well, or you must just not. So then I then started feeling rejected by God, and it took me a minute, it took me a heartbeat to just be like, actually, it's the other way around, because even if this person has rejected me, you still love me all the same. You know, it took me a minute to kind of get to that place as a Christian, but whereas, you know, the normal type of Christian, you should be at that place from the get-go where even if this person throws stones on you, if this person says this, you should still know that you are fly because God says you are fly. But in that moment, in that situation, when all the feelings I could have caught has been grabbed and put in a bag and I caught it, I felt rejected. And it really made me feel like rubbish. But now I feel fly.
It's really painful when you feel rejected by someone that you think actually loves you. As in, you know, there's been rejected firsthand, as in like, oh, you don't even know what's going on, there's no relationship kind of thing. And then being rejected by someone, like imagine in marriage, like how difficult that would be, you know, if, you know, your husband or your wife is just kind of just not really entertaining you in the way that you want to be entertained, whatever that is or whatever that looks like. That must be really painful.
Yeah, I think dealing with rejection, like no matter what it might be, it's always going to be really hard. You can't just tell someone, you know, just pray about it, just go to it's always going to be hard. Like I think for me, at one point in time I felt really rejected by my dad, and it's different now because you're in his family. It's someone that should accept you for everything. He wasn't around and all that sort of stuff. And okay, that's your father. And so we used to have this sort of like, you know, daddy's girl relationship sort of thing. So I felt like just, you know, worthless kind of thing. And I forgot that, okay, yeah, I have this father on earth, but I have this father above that is my father and my mother and my everything. But even so, it's like, this is the person that God has placed on earth for me to, you know, look up to, and that's supposed to be my king, my first love sort of thing, So it took me long, probably, let me say years, to finally like, I came to God, I talked to God, but for me to personally realize, because there's one thing that God said, I think he said in Isaiah to, who did he say it to? Well, I forgot. No, he said it in Isaiah to Isaiah, that I can help you, but only if your faith is strong. So I can't help you with your faith. So when I started building my faith and understanding that, this guy does love me, and it finally deeped, that's when it was like, okay, cool, now I've overcome this, I've deeped it, I've kind of come over this rejection. But God can't really stir you. It's for you to realise that he's put everything there. He'll throw destiny helpers, he'll throw people there, he will tell you, look, it's for you to deep it and say, okay, actually, really, God does love me, so it doesn't really matter if someone rejects me. So, come to God, talk to God, but it's for you to really sort it out.
I think it's really interesting that people deal with how people deal with rejection, and I think there's a lot of women and a lot of men who have dealt with rejection, and it's been because rejection is painful. Essentially, you feel it here, and it that can also kind of affect the way that you behave and the way you carry yourself 100%. And the way you see yourself, to the point where people actually see like the rejection as you carry yourself in that way.
Carry it becomes you.
And so for me, like and I feel like issues in the church and outside of churches, you know when you're dealing with, oh, I like him or she likes me, and then the fear of the rejection and the what do they call it, unreciprocated love, and the Bible even talks about it as like hope deferred makes the heart sick. And so when we are in situations where we are dealing with rejection or the fear of rejection, as in like for some people they've experienced rejection all their life. My dad don't want me, my mum don't want me. Think about Moses in the Bible. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Man got put on a basket and got on the in the river. Like, that's major rejection. But still, God called him back for something greater. Do you know what I mean? But he had to go through that rejection to understand the way in which the people were being dealt with, and he understood the Hebrew people, and he understood like the way of life of the Egyptians as well, so he was able to carry them out of that. And so sometimes you might go through things to be brought out, to bring other people out of them. Do you know what I mean?
I support that 100% because I went through a stage of rejection. I was rejected, and every single time I went back to complain to God, God said to me, but that's what the world does to me, Look at the way I respond to it. And literally step by step, God taught me that you're living out parts of the gospel here, You're actually living out what Christ does when Christ is knocking. The Bible says Christ is knocking on the door. And people don't open the door,
Christ gets rejected on a secondly basis. Not even daily, not hourly,
in this world.
Secondly basis. And do you know what? I think sometimes God lets you. God is a father, and he loves you. But sometimes he allows you to go through things so that you can feel rejected, so that you know that this earth is not for you. So that you're not. This is not your home. This is not.
You're not meant to feel too comfortable here.
You're not meant to feel comfortable here. You're meant to feel comfortable with
rejection.
me.
It's a painful thing.
It's a very painful thing.
You've really got. I'm telling you guys,
it's a very painful thing.
You've got to. You have to go through the pain.
You
have to.
But I think you get to a certain level of spiritual maturity where like being rejected is almost like affirmation of God. I know you're in charge. Because you have to get to a stage where if the world doesn't accept me, it's like, okay, I feel like right now in my life I'm almost going through like a kind of rebirth in God, where God revealed something to me the other day where it's almost like I had to get to a stage where I was just like, I don't love God, to the point where it's just like, I love God. I love the things God do. I love the things that God does, but never have I gotten down on my knees and had a prayer session and talked to God and said, you know what, I just want to sit here and get to know you. I want to know what you're like. I want to know what you're feeling. I want to know, God, how are you doing today? I want to know what you're feeling like. I want to know how you are.
That's what Christians think. Many people think to go to God, you need to have something to say, you need to have something to ask for. It's always about supplication. Instead of coming to him, just asking him, God, what are you saying? Like, what do you want me to do?
How are you? Like, how's your, because you have to understand, God, he said he'd made us in his own likeness and in his own image. So the same way we have feelings, the same way we feel rejected, is the same way, I'm sure, when you get, it's a relationship. So if every single day you pick up the phone and you talk to your boyfriend, you're just like, oh babe, I saw this new bag and I like it. This new shoes, it would go with that new bag.
To your boy,
and this is your boyfriend, and you see that holiday that we were talking about. No, you got to, because if we want to be in a good space, you need to listen. You're like, oh babe, see that holiday that we spoke about? I want to go. If every single time you pick up the phone to talk to your boyfriend, you are asking him for something because it's a relationship, you will lose that boyfriend. When, like, you know, but with God, and that's what we do with God. Every single day we get down, we're like, God, I want this, 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 and I want this. But it's never, God, thank you. So God is feeling rejected on a beautifully, awesomely, like he is rejected point blank to the period. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, but what's
constantly.
so funny is that, like, people, God speaks, right? Speaking right now, and it's for you to hear him. And what's so funny is that prayer is, it's communication, but communication is normally a conversation. So when you go to God, you're speaking to him, you're talking. Certain people, they go to God, they're talking, God, do this, God, do this, and they get up and they go. They didn't sit down to give time for God to speak. If you're having a conversation with God, listen to him. And especially those people, I know certain people who have prayed prayers, God, I want to hear you. What do you want for my life? So they'll go to God's presence, they'll speak, and get up and go. Instead of saying, God, I want to hear you, okay, let me sit down, let me listen. And then taking what you're saying and then go.
Have developed the
Spiritual
maturity.
The
understanding,
I know.
Well, spiritual maturity, but they haven't had that experience with God where they understand when he is speaking. So I could sit there all day and not hear a thing. I'll be like, so are we having a conversation or? Sitting in silence, like, Lord, if you're not going to talk in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to have a shower. Okay, and it's like, but being very open-minded and open, as in opening up your heart to receive however the Lord.
However way he wants to do it. Because Elijah was waiting for all different sorts of things. God came in a still wind, you know.
That thing, and it's deep because I think the points you guys have made have been amazing in terms of just God. Like, it was only when I went to this youth camp and we were asked, like, is God a thing, a person? Or like, is he a thing or a person, basically? And so it really was thought-provoking because for a long time we've all kind of seen God as,
like, we treat him as a
thing. You're just there. Like, God's good, you're good. Do you know what I mean? And that's what. And then we were like, oh well, a thing doesn't have life, you know. And then it's just a thing. Like, this is a thing, that's a thing. And so, and then we're like, oh, it's got a person, but we're just like, well, a person, God, I don't know, because he doesn't really walk. Like, we don't see his physical body, but the Bible talks about him. You know, the eyes, and he's got a back, and you see, you know, certain things. But then we also came to the understood that actually God has a personality, as a personality, and so we went into the Word and really picked things out. And anyway, at the end of that, they really helped us to understand that actually God is a very, very emotional God, and he's quite engaging. And I remember after the session, he was like, "All right, cool. So I want everyone to go away and everyone to go and pray and just ask God how he feels." Girl. I said, I don't know if I didn't reject, like, I didn't regret asking the question, but it was a big deal, as in it was so big, and I remember everyone going in, like, praying, like, God, tell me how you feel, as in, like, to really, really sit in, as in to genuinely ask. You know, sometimes you can ask God, how do you feel? And you just expect him to just, and you don't even know what to expect. You're just saying it. Listen, when he was speaking, it was like it was a spectrum of so many different emotions, as in, like, my body couldn't even take it. It was so amazing, but it was an encounter that I'd never forget, that allowed me to know that God is real. Like I said, listen, if from this day, if any day comes that I forget that you are real, help me to remember this day. Do you know what I mean? And it's deep because it really engulfs you. The conversation needs to be an experience. Do you know what I mean? It has to be an experience. The way rejection and the way all these things are create experiences and stories for us is the way that God's emotions and his relationship, it needs to carry us in an experience. Do you know what I mean? It's not about some 5-minute conversation that's going to happen when you say it's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? It's going to happen in a profound way. You need to be able to expect that. I remember at uni when I used to spend time with God, and I'll be like, Lord, I am not going to lectures if you don't talk to me right now. But I knew that I had to go to lectures. I'm not going, but that's how earnest I was, and that's how much I wanted to know, because I knew that there was so much more to you just being this airy fairy thing, or this body and this.
You're present, you're here, man. You're with me in my situation with me.
If my emotions can take me up like this, if my emotions emotions can take, you know, when you feel emotional, like, you know, when you feel pain,
100%.
like if this can grips my whole, but when you feel fear, if that can do that to me, what more can God do for you in terms of just experiencing him in that way? And so we need to be able to engage with God on that kind of level, so that when we feel the rejection, when we feel this stuff, it's like when I felt rejected, I literally, like, I had to hold, like, it was so painful in my heart, like, you know, when you just have to cry, and you have to cry out to the Lord, and you have to hold your heart, and you're like, this hurts, like, this really, really hurts, but I can't do, as in, like, but you have to experience it. It has to happen, because if it doesn't happen, it hasn't happened. And so for when it has to happen, you are able to take someone out of that experience. It was really painful. Rejection is painful, and this is why people commit suicide. This is why in church people just want to end the pain. It's a heavy thing. It's not something to be taken lightly.
Just for a second, I just want people to just really take this in, because I think where we're going is really deep here, and I want to take this in that some people, some of you watching, or some people, even some of us here, there might be some element of betrayal or rejection that you're feeling that God doesn't want you to feel. You know, we're speaking about some things that God wants us to feel. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Hosea had to go through that situation. So God said, come over here, let me show you what it feels like. Do you know what I mean? And so that's God. And Job, God wanted him to go through those things. But there are some of you are just being beaten by the devil, man. And God doesn't want you in that. You know, you need to come out of that and walk with the Lord.
He does that so that you can see him. Because in
and
God,
maybe,
I think when you walk with God, when you put all your desires and all your hopes and your trust in God, I don't think rejection is a thing. I think you'll do something that physically and in terms of the flesh, I should feel rejected, but because God has made me whole, it's like it's not even a thing. Do you get? And I think that's the point that God wants all his children to get to a point where we're like, I feel rejected by you. I love you. I feel betrayed by you. I feel rejected by you. I feel hurt by you. I feel cast aside by you. But I'm good because I'm made whole by him. I'm good in him. He has secured me. And
But the situation as well is that people then, I know that I've talked about making up stories, but that's the thing, like, that's what I started to do. I started to make up stories as to why legitimately I was being rejected. As in, well, I must, as in trying to legitimize, there's no word like that, but trying to make sense of my rejection. As in, like, I'm legitimately rejected because it's happened before. It's happened many times. So
but then do you find that in that you're almost then insulting God, because in a way it's almost like, because I've been there so many times when I've like when say if someone's done something and then I've excused it, but then I'm excusing it by saying it's because I'm not worth much. And in saying because you're not worth much, you're saying the person who made you and the person who poured all himself into you isn't worth much. So in a way, in almost like making an excuse for them, you're almost trading them for God in a really upside down type
I
way.
think what you said was right though, when you said some people, we are going through it, but some people are just being beat down by the devil. Like in that situation where you see that the person is actually, making you feel bad, like pulling you down, and you're just like, oh, it's okay, maybe it's because of this, because of this. No,
can be teaching something, but no, doesn't really in that girl.
Exactly. But if you really want to know if God's teaching, ask him. I think Jesus said that everyone has the right to the secrets of the kingdom. Ask him, God, what are you doing? Do you know what? Where are you taking me? What do you want to show me in this? Even Job, like at a point in time, when Job went through whatever he was going through and he started speaking to God, there's this long dialogue where he just kept talking. And he was just giving all these excuses. God just came down like, keep quiet. Like, why are you questioning me? You don't know why I do what I do. And God starts to break it down. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing this. And by the end of it, Job was like, wow. Wow, God, like, thank you. And then he was blessed double. His people had to come up to him and say sorry, and that's only the way that they could be forgiven. Like, you have to really go to God and say, what's going on? Why are we doing this?
Just this last question. How does God deal with rejection? And that obviously tells us how we should deal with it, because he wants us to be like him. How does God deal with the rejection? And we spoke about the rejection every second, we spoke about the rejection in every single way, the knocking on the door, If God was a human being, his knuckles would be full enough by now. He'd use his elbow. Because thank God he's not a human being. How does God deal with rejection?
I think dealing with rejection, right? And you saying, okay, how God did, okay, there's so many examples in the Bible where people turned against him, and God took it, he took it, but then by the end of it he said, listen, I'm gonna break all of this and I'm gonna build you back up again, because with God, he's a God of creation. He doesn't adjust, he doesn't.
God deals with rejection, or how Christ deals with it.
Christ, I'm fine. Let's do Christ. Let's do Christ. That's the focus.
Do you know what? There's like a passage that screamed out to me when Christ was on the cross and he was just like, forgive them, for they do not know what they do. Like listen, Christ could have been a boss, and just ripped himself out that cross and said, like he could have ripped himself off the cross and said, I am the shiznit. Okay, you are not gonna throw tomato. I made that tomato that you are throwing at me. Do you know what I mean? Like God, Christ could have done that, but he just said, forgive, like he done it with love, like he took it, he took it with grace, he took it with love, he took it with compassion, like he even prayed for their forgiveness because of their ignorance, even though at the time they were beating him all the way down. And I think God does what he does. We can never be like God. No matter how much we try. The fact is we can strive to be like God. We can strive to be like Christ. The example that God has given us is the life of Christ. So in the way that Christ was on the cross and he said, forgive them for they do not know what they do, is the same way that I think that we should deal with rejection, in the sense of, do you know what? You've rejected me, you've betrayed me, but I forgive you. And then even though your heart is really heavy with it.
But then also dealing with that, but then also confronting your emotions and dealing with that with God, in conversation with God.
But in your private space with God, where you're like, God, oh my God, there's been so many times where I'm quite, and even though I've said everything I've said about emotion, I'm quite an emotional person, and I know some of my faults is that when I get heated, I get real heated, like, don't pee me off. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes I get to the point where I'm just like, God, I feel this way. I really don't want to feel like this anymore. Just please take it away from me. Like, please don't let me be angry. Please don't let me be sad. Please don't. And you have to really pray with all your heart. And funnily enough, every single time I tell God, I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be sad. Like, ooh, girl, I feel easy.
Is that really the prayer? Because essentially what you're saying is, oh God, don't take me through this emotion, which is essentially what you should go through. But it's kind of, don't let me act out in it as a result of it.
But it's like with God doesn't want you to be angry. Do you know what I'm trying to say? God,
not necessarily. Because through many people in the Bible who have gone through. Okay, let's say Hannah, right? God closed her womb in it. Yeah, she prayed like mad, but she was definitely angry. She was definitely sad. She was going through all of those emotions, and by the end of it, she got what she needed to get.
Yeah. So, but I guess what you're saying, that's not a permanent state that God wants you to be in.
Like anger is not a fruit of the spirit. The spirit that God has given you, anger is not part of it. So God does not want you to be comfortable.
But I get what you're also saying is something that we have to go through to get to a place where we're passing through it. But you're saying it's not a permanent place, it's not fixed.
And I think it gets to a point where you have to learn how to deal with it. So like you're saying, it's something that we have to go through, but it's not something that I'm going to just allow myself to go through all the time. So I'm going to be angry. Sometimes, like I have every day, like, oh God, thank you for waking me up. Anger. God doesn't want you to. I mean, like God doesn't want you to. He doesn't want you to become accustomed to that type of, because that is not a fruit of the spirit that He's given you. So you have to get to a point where you're just like, do you know what? I felt this emotion before, and I know it is not pleasing unto you. So God, come and just take it away from me. I don't want to be angry right now. I want to be at peace. I can still be upset by what you've done. I can still feel some type of way. I can still be in my feelings about what you've done, but that emotion of anger that bears fruits to me doing things that are not pleasing to you, I'm good. I don't want it.
Guys, we have to end there. We have to end there. I feel like a part 2 probably will be coming. I think that's really, really powerful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's see, we might come. We'll pick some boys next time. And guys, just to make that clear, we didn't put these 3 amazing women on here because we think that emotions or feelings are only ascribed to women only. No, that's just how it kind of worked out, and it was amazing that you guys came on here. Guys, thank you very much for watching. You're gonna go and get some amazing ministration in terms of a song right now. I really hope you enjoy it, guys. Thank you very much once again. I really pray that in anywhere we are in the feelings right now, that God doesn't want us to be. God will come and take us from it in Jesus' name.
Don't give up, guys. Don't give up.
Oh yes. Thank you very much. God bless.
Hi, I'm Gabrielle. This is Ehime, and this is What Can I Do? Tell me, what can I do? 'Cause I can't live without you. I can't live without you. Oh, tell me, what can I do? 'Cause I can't live without you. I can't live without. So here's my heart. Here's my mind. I give you my soul, Lord. I need you to take control. 'Cause I tried it on. I tried it on my own. What I found is I can't make it on my own. On my own. I can't make it. I can't make it on my own. On my own. I can't make it. I can't make it. So tell me, what can I do? 'Cause I can't live without you. I can't live without you. So tell me, what can I do? 'Cause I can't live without you. I can't live without. So here's my heart. Here's my mind. I give you my soul, Lord. I need you to take control. 'Cause I tried it on. I tried it on my own. And what I found is I can't make it on my own. On my own. I can't make it. I can't make it on my own. On my own. I can't make it. I can't make it. I can't walk without you. I can't talk without you. I can't sing without you. I'm nothing without. No, I can't live without you. I can't breathe without you. I can't be without you. I'm nothing without. So tell me, what can I do? 'Cause I can't live without you. I can't live without you. So tell me, what can I do? 'Cause I can't live without you. I can't live without you.